Welcome back to Fitness Friday. Today, with us in the studio, I have the pleasure of speaking to Robert Rotaru. Robert is a pickleball player who just won the Ontario Cup in the men's pro division. Welcome to the studio, Robert.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Perhaps we can start our little chat by you telling me a bit about the game of pickleball itself and why it's growing in popularity.
Well, pickleball started in the U.S. Even now, it's considered the fastest growing sport in North America. The U.S. is, I think, a few light years ahead of Canada in terms of facilities and having the amount of tournaments. Canada is slowly building more pickleball clubs around the nation. It's starting to grow. More people are hearing about it, and more people are seeing that it's a fun sport that people can just join, and it doesn't take a lot of experience or knowledge to jump into it.
And what personally attracted you to the game?
Me coming from a tennis background, so I used to play professional tennis, and then I went into playing, actually coaching full time because I got married and we have 6 kids now, my wife and I. We kind of slow things down because playing on the tour would mean me traveling all the time, and family's first for me. That's how I got into pickleball. Somebody introduced me to the sport. I thought it was just a fun sport to mess around with. And then after a few times jumping on the court, I was hooked. So after that, I wanted to play more. It's a challenging sport. It looks simple, but the higher the level you play, the more you have to master the sport. But from the outside, it looks like a simple sport. You just hit the ball over the net. And that's why a lot of people like joining it. And that's why I liked joining it, because the community aspect of it is very nice. Everybody's very social. Everybody's friendly in the pickleball community until the game starts, and then nobody's friendly anymore. But I enjoy playing it. And I encourage other people to at least step on the pickleball court and hit a few before they judge the sport, because a lot of people look from the outside and they say, it's just a silly sport maybe for old people. I'm not going to play it.
You weren't looking at me when you said old people.
No.
And just to get to the recent event, how do you become the pickleball champion? Can you tell us a bit about preparation and training for that?
So the tournament that I played recently was called the Ontario Cup. It's ran by Michael Chow. He owns the Pickleball Association. It's called the APA, Association of Pickleball Athletes. He's been running these tournaments around Ontario, and he gets a lot of people to show up at these tournaments, maybe around 300 to 500 people. There's different age categories, different levels that you can join. So I played in the men's pro singles division in this tournament, and I ended up winning. We had one person coming from Nova Scotia to play this tournament, others from Toronto. It's a nice professional tournament that Michael runs, and it makes the experience of playing a tournament really enjoyable. The training aspect for a tournament like this, you do need to put in time. It does get physical. Being a competitive tournament, you have to play all day, or maybe 6 or 7 hours. A little bit of time in between. So you do have to have some endurance. And then in terms of practice, I try to find people around the city that I can train with. One person in particular is a doubles partner that I usually play with. His name is Evan Helinski. So he's a younger guy than me. And we just go and train before tournaments, hitting specific shots or training specific shots for a tournament, and then just playing games to prepare ourselves for that competitive mindset. But the recreational aspect of pickleball is very different from the competitive aspect. Competition aspect takes more money because you have to pay entry fees, which maybe range from $50 to $100 in Canada. And then you have to take the day off work, maybe the expenses of going to these tournaments. So it kind of adds up.
Yeah, so you've got to be committed to do that.
Yeah.
But for the general public, someone that's listening in, I knew almost nothing about pickleball till I met you today. What's the best way to get involved with the game?
I would say maybe go out to a few public courts, maybe grab a few friends. You could buy a cheap paddle at Walmart or Sport Chek or even Amazon. If you want to spend a little bit more money, the brand that I'm sponsored by, Selkirk, they've been a huge help for me. They have all kinds of products, gear, shoes, paddles. So if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can go on their website, But I would just say start by going on a public court. It's free. There's some places that you can look online that have just beginner groups or clinics that you can just join, and it's a good start just to get you more familiar with the game and how to keep score maybe.
Before I let you go, Robert, what's the next big competitive event coming up for you?
There's a few on the radar. There's a few in the U.S. So the U.S. has a professional pickleball tour. It is a little bit more costly to go to the States. The entry fees are maybe $300 around there for one event. And then obviously the travel. So I have a few on the radar to go there, but it just means saving up for tournaments like that. Anybody listening, if you want to reach out to sponsor me, I have a YouTube channel and an Instagram page called Maple Leaf Pickler. So feel free to reach out, get your company's name maybe on board. But it does get costly to play the bigger tournaments, and obviously financial help would be nice. But in terms of other tournaments, there's another one by the APA circuit that's coming up in February. So I might play that. It's just based on whether they provide money. So a lot of the pro events will have money or prize money for it. So I'll usually just go play those because it'll make use of my time when I take a day off of work.
Well, we're going to be following you here at CKBG, and I personally wish you all the best in the world with your pickleball career. I'm sure that some listeners are going to be following you, and best of luck. Thank you, Robert, for coming into the studio, telling us all about your adventure in the world of pickleball and what it takes to be a champion in the game.
I appreciate it. Thanks.